Most important part. Is it already gone?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Common Running Mistakes. My name is Dr. Cameron Garber, and I'm here with one of our awesome Body Smart therapists, Melody. And we are so excited to join you to talk about some of the common running mistakes people make. And one of them that we see here in Utah all the time is how you train your body for ascending and descending. Unfortunately and fortunately, I love it. I love being up in the mountains and everything. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to go on a run in most places in Utah without doing some ascending and descending. Mm-hmm. And it actually happens to be one of the biggest areas where people get injured. So that, where you can't really avoid it, and yet it's a big injury place, it's important to know how to ascend and descend correctly. In fact, for men, single track trail downhill is actually one of the number one IT band injury causers. So
makes sense.
You got to be careful there when you're running a line in a single track trail. So you're running kind of crossing over. It puts a lot of stress on those IT bands. Then you add the force of going downhill, and it puts a lot of stress through those hips. And so keeping the glutes strong and things like that help a lot with avoiding that. So that's just one example of some of the types of injuries. A lot of descending, we see a lot of stress fractures and other things. Whereas ascending, we tend to see like Achilles problems, sometimes glute or quad and hamstring tears and things like that. So you got to be careful with all of that. A lot of patellofemoral pain with both ascending and descending. Mm-hmm. So there are different types of injuries depending on what's going on with both, but making sure you're training your body right is the key. So what are some of the common mistakes we see people making to get some of those injuries, would you say?
Well, honestly, I think people totally forget about the descending portion of their training.
I agree.
Everything we focus on is basically miles. You're always thinking about increasing your miles every week and increasing the time on your feet. And I think we just forget to incorporate that part. So if you're training for a race that has, 10,000 feet of climbing, you need to think about training the climbing aspect of it as well, and gradually and continually progressing your climbs each week. And same with your descending. You can't just jump right into a big crazy run with lots of downhill running.
Right. Sending.
Ascending. So you want to gradually put that in too.
Right.
You want to gradually put in how steep that descent is. You want to gradually put in how long that descent is. Throwing in lots of plyometric exercises in there will help prepare your bones, ligaments, and joints for that kind of load as well. So
yeah, awesome. I totally agree. I think that helps, and being able to do that keeps you healthy, avoids the injury, and keeps you on the road, which is what we're all about here at Body Smart. Mm-hmm. What have you noticed in your personal training that has helped you to be able to train that better?
So I mentioned this in a previous video, but going different paces. Mm-hmm. So going slow on uphills, but also sprinting uphills. I can do like some interval work. So maybe it's a really long uphill climb, like a Ben Lomond or Mount Timpanogos kind of climb, where I sprint some of it and walk some of it, sprint some of it, walk some of it. And then there are other hills that are really short that I just try to hit super hard.
Yeah.
But I also practice walking the little hills. It just kind of, It depends on where I'm at in my training and what I'm trying to do that day, but go different paces on uphills and also go different paces on the downhills. So practice going slow on the downhills, practice sprinting on the downhills. And something I try to do is practice going fast on downhills on technical terrain.
I do. I like doing that too. It's fun.
It's super fun, and you want to practice that footwork and make sure you're strong and ready, and make sure you're in a place where you can do that technical terrain and do it quickly without tripping. Right.
So what if you notice that you're tripping, if your feet are really sluggish and heavy, what would you recommend for that? We talked about this this week.
Yeah.
What can you do if you're noticing, man, I'm kind of clumsy, I'm kind of struggling? What would you recommend adding into your workout regimen to help with that?
More plyometrics, like high intensity interval training. So I've been doing some insanity workouts, and I feel like that's kind of given my bounce back. Yeah. I did notice last year during my training, I wasn't doing a lot of workouts like that. I wasn't doing the plyometric things. I was just running, and I felt myself get really just kind of heavy and sluggish. Yeah. And now that I've added in more like bouncy kind of explosive things, I can feel more energy as I'm going over the rocks. and
Right.
such.
Well, I think you lose sometimes with endurance training, we lose some of our athleticism,
Yeah.
right?
For
And
sure.
so adding in like one hit workout a week is kind of the best recommendation. Adding in that one hit workout a week will improve your athleticism. So your coordination and your timing of your footfalls and footsteps will improve so that you are safer and don't have as many injuries and accidents. So I think that's such a huge step. So we were talking about that earlier this week, and I was like, that actually is probably one of the best justifications for hit training that I've ever heard for a runner, especially, is that it really does maintain some of that athleticism.
For sure.
So there you go. Don't make the mistakes of going out and training too late in the game and too much too soon on your ascending and descending, so that by race day you're gonna get injured. We want to make sure that you stay healthy and on the road. So make sure you train early and often, and don't overtrain your ascending and descending too late in the game before a race. Let us know if you have any questions about that, and make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all those good things, so you can get all the rest of our videos here at Body Smart. Thanks again for joining us on Common Running Mistakes, and we hope to see you on the next one.